Guys, this is going to be a tough love video. I'm just warning you now, it's a tough love video. So if you're not a fan of tough love, this video might not be for you, okay? In this video, I'm going to be telling you a bunch of different reasons why you have not landed your first brand partnership. I know that there are a lot of people in my community who have trouble landing their first brand partnership or even their first paid brand partnership. So that's why I want to create this video, because there are a few common mistakes that people are making, which is directly impacting their ability to land their next brand partnership or sponsorship. So if that sounds of interest to you, then carry on watching and also hit the subscribe button, because I upload new content every single week. So this is potentially the most common and also the most obvious reason why you may be struggling to land your first brand partnership. And the reason is that you are not pitching to brands. You're just kind of waiting around, twiddling your thumbs, hoping that at some point a brand is going to email you or DM you with this incredible offer and you're going to snap it up and your life is going to change forever. I'm sure that has happened to some people. Can you let me know if it has? Because that is just great and I'm very happy for you. However, for the most of us, we need to roll up our sleeves and we have to get pitching. We cannot wait for our dream brands or any brands to reach out to us. We need to take matters into our own hands and reach out to them. Now, there is a lot to learn about pitching, right? I'll give you a few tips now, but if you're really interested in pitching to brands, I recommend checking out my membership club, which is called the Creators Club. It includes a pitching masterclass where I tell you exactly how to pitch. I give you scripts to pitch. I tell you how much to charge, the whole thing. And as soon as you join, you get instant access to that masterclass, in addition to loads of other masterclasses, live Q&As with me, and so much more. So I'll put a link in my description to the Creators Club. But for now, here are a few things to be aware of. The first thing to be aware of is that you need to personalize your pitch. Never ever copy and paste. The second thing you need to be aware of is that just because a brand is amazing and you love it, doesn't mean that they're that likely to work with you or even that they're the right brand to pitch to. For example, I absolutely love Adidas. I'm not going to pitch to them though, because they're so big. The likelihood of them even seeing my email or direct message is probably going to be pretty small. Not only that, but I actually know from my own experience that Adidas have an agency who manage their influencers. So me pitching directly to Adidas's Instagram account probably won't get me any results. The third thing I want to flag before you start pitching is that a lot of brands won't respond to you, and that's okay. You have to manage your expectations. Just because you've pitched 10 brands doesn't mean that you're going to get 10 brand partnerships, okay? If you use my templates and you watch my masterclass, you're a lot more likely to get a lot of brand partnerships, but at no point can I or anyone else ever guarantee that you're going to work with every brand that you pitch to. So another reason is that you're putting too much focus into your follower size rather than things like your engagement. Now, I talk about the importance of your engagement and your engagement rate on a regular basis on this channel. However, if you've not heard me talk about it before or share any tips specifically to increase your engagement on a platform like Instagram, I will link to a video up here so that you can check it out and learn some of my tips and tricks, right? But essentially, the reason why you focusing on things like your follower size is actually preventing you from landing your next brand partnership is because you might be telling yourself that you can't pitch to brands because you don't have enough followers yet. This is a common thing that I hear from a lot of creators. They might come to me and say, look, I've got 2,000 followers, when can I start pitching to brands? And I'll say, well, what's your engagement rate? And they'll say, oh, I don't know, let me look it up. They'll look it up and be like, oh, my engagement rate is 25%. That is a very high engagement rate. And granted, the benchmark for engagement rates will change depending on your niche and how big your account is, but 25% for a small account is still pretty decent. So in that scenario, again, depending on the account, the niche, the quality of the content, that person might be able to start pitching to brands right now. But because they've been focusing on their number of followers, they haven't done that yet because they're using their number of followers as a way to measure their value, when really your value lies in how engaged your community is. Now, the flip side of that are people who actually have a decent amount of followers already, but their engagement is super low. So they're thinking, well, I'm pitching to all these brands and no one's responding to me, or I'm not managing to get anyone to pay for any sponsorships yet. Why is that? And the reality is that your engagement is actually holding you back from brands actually wanting to work with you or wanting to pay you a fee to work with you, right? The moral of this story is that engagement really is king or queen. Engagement is queen. And it's one of the most important things that you need to consider when you want to start working with brands. And the reason why, just to sum up, is because when a brand is wanting to work with an influencer or a creator, majority of the time they're doing that to get in front of your audience. If you have an audience who don't see your content much, who don't interact with your content much, and who generally don't care that much about your content and what you're sharing, well, from a brand's perspective, there's a big chance that they're not going to get any return on their partnership with you, because you might promote their product or service to your audience, but because they are not an engaged audience, they're either not going to see it, they're not going to interact with it, or they're just not going to convert and buy something as a result of it. So that is why your engagement is the most important metric when it comes to working with brands, not just your follower size. So another reason why you may not have landed your first brand partnership or paid brand partnership is because your content's not good enough. Awkward, such an awkward conversation to have. Thank God I'm only having this conversation with a camera and not with an actual human being. But we have to be aware that the current climate and the current industry requires us creators and influencers to really produce super high quality content. And I'm not saying that I always create super high quality content. I mean, I definitely try to, but in the past, I've definitely uploaded some things that are not at the level that they needed to be. And you know what? It's an evolving process. As time goes on, hopefully my content will continue to improve. And maybe in a year's time, I'll look back and think my content was rubbish at this time as well, right? So creating good content can take some time, it will evolve, and we have to consistently ensure that we are working to make our new posts better than our last. The reason why us producing super high quality content is so important now, maybe even more so than it was a few years ago, is because at the moment there are a lot of creators and influencers. By no means am I saying there's too many. I'm not someone who believes that things are oversaturated. I truly believe there is space for all of us. However, with more creators and influencers, especially if you're in a popular niche like fashion, it does mean that the general standard of content that's being produced is going to be a lot higher than maybe it used to be, which means that brands now have more choice between creators and influencers, but also the level of content they're looking for is super, super high. The main thing to remember when it comes to this point, and if you're sitting there thinking maybe I need to improve my content, is you need a brand to look at your page and to easily imagine their product on your page. But not only that, you want them to want their product to be on your page, right? You want them to look at your content and think, oh my God, this is such a beautiful photo, or oh my God, this is so well shot, oh my God, this reel is so engaging. I want something like that for my brand. That's the impression that you need brands to have when they look at your content. And if you think that a brand won't feel that way when they look at your content at the moment, then that is potentially a sign for you to review your content and really step it up a bit and ensure that it's the highest quality that it can possibly be. Okay, so another reason is that you haven't taken the time out to actually truly understand how this industry works. And if you're wondering what industry is this, what does that even mean? Well, influencer marketing is a type of marketing, right? It's a way for brands to promote their products or services. My understanding, knowledge, and experience of marketing from my degree, from my 8 years working in marketing, are a huge reason why I was able to become a full-time creator in 9 months from uploading my first YouTube video, right? So I definitely have a bit of an advantage there. However, luckily for you, I am sharing all of my experience and my tips and tricks either on this channel or through my programs. So I do recommend taking the time out to really binge my content, someone else's content. There are so many amazing educators on YouTube. Binge their content. And if you feel like you need a bit more hand-holding or a bit more support, look into people's programs. I'm not just gonna plug my program again because I've already done it once. Other people have really good programs too, right? It really is worth investing in yourself if you're truly, truly committed to making it in an industry. And if you really, really want to work with brand partnerships, it's important you understand why brands want to work with you in the first place. Okay guys, that's the end of my tough love. You made it through it. Congratulations. I really hope you found this video useful. If you did, I recommend checking out this video. I basically break down all the money that I spend every single month as a full-time content creator, because let me tell you, it is not cheap. It is not a cheap business to run. So if you feel nosy, or if you're trying to become a full-time content creator, I recommend giving that a watch. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.